tonight on the News at 5. We hear from both Steve Daines and Steve Bullock on their thoughts regarding a possible Ruth Bader Ginsburg successor. Plus, the annual campaign encouraging state employees to support Montana nonprofits is going virtual this year.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Jessica Nelson. Thank you for joining us. With plans to honor Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg underway and mourners still paying their respects, already the fight to fill her seat on the Supreme Court is front and center in the presidential campaign. President Trump planning to announce his nominee at the end of the week, saying it will be a woman. The top two contenders, federal judge Amy Coney Barrett, a favorite among conservatives, and Barbara Lagoa, a Cuban-American federal judge from Battleground, Florida. Once he makes his choice, President Trump urging Senate Republicans to use their majority power. But not everyone agrees with going forward before the election.
The bottom line is we won the election. We have an obligation to do what's right and act as quickly as possible.
There should be no action on any nominee until after the election. People are already voting.
Republicans and Democrats plot a course forward after the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden urging his former Senate colleagues to delay the vote, while President Trump points to a quick action on a nominee. Montana's Republican U.S. Senator Steve Daines is saying the Senate should move quickly to confirm President Trump's nominee to fill the Supreme Court vacancy created by Friday's death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, Daines felt differently in 2016 when Barack Obama had a chance to fill a vacancy during an election year.
In 2016, when conservative U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia unexpectedly died, the Republican majority in the U.S. Senate refused to consider President Obama's nominee to fill that vacancy. GOP senators, including Senator Daines, said a vacancy should not be filled during an election year. Here's Senator Daines speaking on MTN's Face the State in February 2016.
I don't think it's right to bring a nominee forward in an election year. And given the people of this country have started to vote already, to put a nominee in the middle of that kind of very hyper-politicized environment, I do not think is right for the institution. And frankly, let the people speak, and we'll move forward in January 2017.
Now, in the wake of Ginsburg's death, 46 days before the election, Daines is saying the GOP-controlled Senate should vote promptly on Trump's nominee to replace her. That vote would create a 6-3 conservative majority on the high court that could last for a generation or more. Daines said if the Senate waits and Democrat Joe Biden is elected president, Biden would choose a Supreme Court nominee who is, quote, a liberal activist judge who will threaten our Montana way of life, end quote. Daines is up for re-election this year. His Democratic challenger, Governor Steve Bullock, says the Senate should wait until the inauguration of the next president before filling Ginsburg's seat, just like they did in 2016. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, however, says that's not going to happen. Daines said 4 years ago that blocking an Obama nominee was part of his job representing Montana. But he also said he would apply the election year principle regardless of the president's party.
Now, would you be taking this position if the president was a Republican?
I would.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Democratic U.S. Senator John Tester also said 4 years ago that the Senate should act on nominees during an election year. Now he says they should not, but that he's merely asking for Republicans to apply the same standard they applied in 2016. Well, this weekend, MTN kicks off our series of debates for U.S. Senate and Montana governor. And on Saturday, the U.S. House debate with Democrat Kathleen Williams and Republican Matt Rosendale as they take center stage with our panel of reporters, including Jay Cohn, Jill Valley, and Mike Dennison. Watch a Saturday night at 6 p.m. on KTVH or streaming on the app for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android TV. Switching gears now to our forecast. Time to check in with Curtis. It was a beautiful day yesterday for once. I went outside and it felt like it had been a long time since I had not smelled smoke.
Yes, clean air, blue sky here across a lot of the state. Certainly was a very nice end to the weekend. A little storm that went through on Saturday helped to blow out a lot of that smoke. But here we are, the final few hours of summer in 2020. Because tomorrow, at Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. is when fall officially begins. Our air quality, this is so much better than where we were a week ago. However, a few locations, including Great Falls, Sealy Lake, out there around the Bitterroot Valley, also Bozeman, we were good earlier today. Now the air quality is moderate, and perhaps you can even see a little in the way of some haze and smoke out there. You might whiff the wildfires once again as some smoke from California and Idaho is currently moving into the state. We'll talk about just how bad it will get coming up. Autumn arrives tomorrow. We'll talk about the first few days of fall and what's blowing in next coming up in the full forecast.
Thanks, Curtis. An annual campaign encouraging state employees to support Montana nonprofits is launching this week. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports organizers believe it is especially important this year.
The state employee charitable giving campaign is now underway, though the kickoff event at the Montana State Capitol looked different this year. On Monday, organizers set up a drive-through behind the Capitol. They handed out more than 200 bags to state employees, containing information on the giving campaign and promotional items from participating organizations. State employees can donate to more than 300 nonprofits around Montana, either through a payroll deduction or a one-time payment. In previous years, the campaign has begun with a kickoff event in the Capitol Rotunda, but organizers changed the format because of COVID-19. They say the pandemic also means this type of giving is especially valuable this year.
Charities, I think, have taken a hit because of what's happened in our community and throughout the country, and so this, as you said, it's more important than ever now for these charities.
The campaign will continue through the first week of November. It brought in about $450,000 last year, and organizers hope to bring in $460,000 this year. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
The campaign will hold another kickoff event in Missoula on Wednesday. In addition, they will deliver bags to several state agencies in Great Falls tomorrow. Doctors want to know if chronic marijuana users experience performance difficulties, even when they are not under the influence. To test this theory, researchers created a driving simulator for chronic marijuana users. They were not allowed to be under the influence for at least 12 hours before taking the test. Researchers found chronic users hit more pedestrians, stopped at fewer red lights, and crossed into oncoming traffic more than non-users. They say the results were most noticeable for people who started marijuana use when they were 16 or younger. Well, wearing a seatbelt has been credited with saving the life of a hunter that totaled his truck after hitting an elk. According to Montana Highway Patrol, the man was traveling southbound on U.S. Highway 287 this morning, just north of Wolf Creek. The vehicle hit the 6-point elk at highway speeds, causing the truck to roll over 3 to 4 times and killing the animal. The hunter only appeared to have a broken arm and a few other minor injuries. Trooper Amanda Vila says the accident could have been a lot worse had the hunter not been wearing his seatbelt.
If you look at the photo when it was flipped over, you can see, if you look at the driver's compartment, there's plenty of room to survive, which is how those compartments are designed. Typically in a rollover event like that, when somebody's not restrained, they'll be ejected from the vehicle and more often than not suffer critical or fatal injuries.
This time of year is common for animal collisions, and MHP asks people to take extra care while driving in the morning and evening hours. All right, when we come back, Curtis has more in the full forecast, what kind of highs and lows we will see as we officially welcome fall this week and later. How are some students responding to the new norm of wearing a mask to school every day?
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm an anchor for KTVH News. These are my boys, Harvey and Fletcher. We have been reading together since the boys were just babies. That's why this year we donated to the Scripps Howard Foundation Give a Child a Book campaign. If you would like to help and donate as well, you can head to our website to find out how your donation helps children right here in Helena.
starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenance.
Welcome back, everybody. Good Monday afternoon to you all. Hopefully you had a great final weekend of summer. Saturday, maybe not the nicest weather, but it certainly was nice what the weather did on Saturday. Clean out that smoke for Sunday. And boy, it certainly was nice to have some fresh air here. 77 degrees right now in Helena. And if you notice, there is a little haze, a little smoke beginning to move back into the state. Great Falls all last week from our Skycam here in Geyser. You could not see the Highwood Mountains, but they're still there. All it took was just getting rid of some of that smoke. 77 degrees, pretty strong southwest wind. It's windy, it's warm, it's fairly dry. We still have a bunch of fire season left to go here. You can see those temperatures again into the 70s, a few locations into the 80s. So summery on the final day of this season. And there's the wind, sustained winds up 20, 25 miles per hour off of the Rocky Mountain front. Get ready for some wind here. It is the season when the jet stream begins to descend back down into the northern part of the country here. Really not much on the radar. A couple showers way over there, British Columbia. The fires here that we have in the state, not much in the way of growth. The State Creek fire down there to the southwest of Boulder grew a few hundred acres on Friday into Saturday with some of the wind. But looking around the country, we've got a little showery weather into Washington. That little system will move into Montana tomorrow. And we also have a tropical storm, the name Beta, moving into Texas right now. Otherwise, the East Coast very quiet and very cold. So here are still technically the active fires, although fires like the Bridger Foothills fire has not grown here in well over a week. The containment now up to about 83%. Low pressure that moved through on Saturday here, that kind of knocked down a lot of that smoke further into the central Rockies here and out into the plains. However, a southwest flow is returning, and although the fires into Washington and Oregon and even some into Idaho saw significant precipitation Friday and Saturday, the southwest flow will bring up some of that smoke from wildfires in California and also some activity into Idaho. And here is some of that smoke increasing through the overnight hours, and tomorrow a little hazy. There's just a minor little system that will swing through, and the southwest flow ahead of it is grabbing some of that wildfire smoke from northern California and a little activity into west central Idaho as well, and that will come up into the state tomorrow. But look at it clearing out as we get into Wednesday, more of a westerly flow, and there's not much in the way of wildfires going on, huge wildfires into Washington, British Columbia, or Oregon. So once we get through tomorrow's little minor hiccup as far as the smoke goes, the rest of the week looking pretty nice, pretty clean here. So nothing like what we all had to endure last week as far as the smoke goes. Even this coming weekend looking pretty good, but still notice that smoke hanging out down there, California, western Nevada. As far as precipitation goes, there could be a couple of showers coming through tomorrow. It's a very weak system, doesn't have a lot of moisture, but it will move through with maybe a few isolated showers and even a rumble of thunder across the north central part of the state tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy skies, a pretty nice day. And then heading into Thursday, here comes another system, but this storm will favor west of the Continental Divide with precipitation. East of the divide, it's going to favor a lot of wind here for Thursday and then also into Friday. Friday, very fall day here with cool temperatures, wind, some scattered showers, even some higher elevation snow on Friday. And then heading into the weekend, mostly cloudy on Saturday, but Sunday a little front could produce a few showers across the north central and the eastern part of the state into Monday morning. So here's the forecast for tonight. Lows down into the 40s, not as cool as last night, but it will be fairly cool again, seasonably cool for a final night of summer. And here's the first day of autumn tomorrow, 60s and 70s. And again, a couple of isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder up across the high line here. Central Montana should be dry, warm, and windy. And around the Helena area, maybe an isolated shower, mainly in the mountains. Here's the 7-day forecast for Helena. So a stray shower for the first day of fall tomorrow, 73. That's pretty nice. For Wednesday, 77. Thursday, the wind really starts to increase for the Helena area into Friday, and a little cooler, cloudier start to the weekend with more sunshine and warmth toward the end of the weekend. And for Great Falls, Temperatures into the 70s the next few days, but that wind really ramps up later this week and into this coming weekend. But temperatures will stay in the 60s and 70s.
Masks are the new norm. How are students responding? Take a look.
Students across the Flathead are required to wear masks in school, and school officials are saying their students are responding well.
We have been just elated how well they're doing. Masks don't seem to be a problem for them. The teachers are fabulous.
Principal of Edgerton Elementary, Jen Stein, says per Governor Bullock's mandate, students are required to wear masks in class. She says it's been a positive experience and they've incorporated mask hygiene into students' daily routines to normalize it. She says the masks are there to keep everyone in the school safe.
It's really not meant to be political or divisive. It's just the guideline and the rule in the school. And so we will follow it, and we will help you follow it in a way that works for your family.
Superintendent of Summers Lakeside School District Joe Price says their students are required to wear masks in and outside the building.
Especially our younger students would not be able to keep a proper social distance during recess. So it was easier just to have them continue to wear the mask.
He says students have responded well to the mask mandate, and the district is taking a hard stance on wearing masks in school.
If we have a child who refuses to wear a mask, we'll call the parents to come and pick them up. And they're welcome to come back the next day with a mask on. But if we have to send them home for a second time, they're just going to go on to remote learning.
Price says this is the way he's ensuring all his staff and students stay safe from the virus. Stein says all of their teachers are incredible role models for their students, encouraging the students to continue learning despite the different learning environment. In Kalispell, Maureen Sue, MTN News.
All right, up next, has the virus forever changed our society? We'll dive deeper after the break.
News leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Americans are wondering if the country and society will be permanently changed by the virus. Here's a closer look.
6 letters, 1 word. The one thing we are all collectively longing for.
Someone asked, when can we actually get back to normal as we know it?
Since March, the nation has been fixated on the notion of normal. When can we go back to the way things were? When can we go for a walk without a mask? But why does the idea of returning to normal speak to us on such a profoundly deep level?
Normal is this mirage on the horizon.
That's Mike Serrazio. He's a communication professor at Boston College. Just the word itself, he says, brings people a sense of certainty.
Part of what we seek in normalcy is something that's comfortable, something that's familiar, and something that is sustainable.
COVID-19 impacting nearly every facet of our lives, from work to school to even how our kids play with one another. It's created this longing for the way things were, especially given how stressful life can seem right now.
I think that we're all still somewhat in a daze in terms of how this has played out. And I think the hopes that this would be more temporary than it is are definitely not panning out.
Pretty much everything has been disrupted.
Beyond the word itself, there's another reason the concept of normality sticks in our brain. Nicholas Wagner studies psychological sciences.
The structures and routines that we've established help us navigate the uncertainties that we don't have control over.
This loss in normalcy has deeply impacted kids. For them, pattern and routine are central to development and growth.
For children, routine and patterns and predictability in the environment is crucial for a number of areas of development.
Some advice he has for parents right now: set specific bedtimes, specific times for chores, then make a calendar and hang it on the fridge.
That added sense of security may help to establish new normals.
Even when things do return to a condition of familiarity, we'll still have lingering aspects of the virus in our minds and in our hearts.
In a world where we are so desperately clinging to one word, finding a new normal might be the best way forward. I'm Chris Conti reporting.
We'll be right back after the break.
As news leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
If you missed any of tonight's stories during the newscast, be sure to download the KTVH app on your streaming device. That's all for us this evening. Have a great rest of your night, and thank you so much for joining us.